Good morning and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Tuesday, March 8th. And you can see temperatures very warm out this morning in the 40s to low 50s. And again, Breckenridge a little bit cooler in some of the other locations yesterday as we hung on to about 5 inches of snow to start yesterday out. We're down to about an inch now and it'll be gone by today. But you can see a very warm start to the day out there this morning. If we look around the Great Lakes, you can see temperatures mainly in the 40s across much of the area. Some 30s once you get up to the north and then across Wisconsin solidly into the 40s. So again, you can see our winds out of the southwest. That's bringing that warm temperatures up into the area. If we look at the next slide, this is a picture of the Breckenridge Ranch Mineral Plant. You can see some snow still on the ground there. But again, we'll lose that today. But that's why we weren't quite as warm as some of the other locations. And you can see our normal high for the day is 38. The normal low is 20. And again, yesterday we had a high of about 52, a low of 37. But if you look at some of the other temperatures around the area, oops, I got Newaygo hit up. But you can see the high temperatures. Newaygo was the warm spot at 61.9. So the areas across south central and southeast lower Michigan did a little bit better than right in the northern areas where there's still some snow on the ground. But you can see the temperature highs as we have them in order here from yesterday. And we'll feature this page every day. If we look at the next slide, you can see the southerly winds bringing this warm air up into the region. Again, this will continue for quite some time to come. Even when we cool down a little bit towards the end of the week, we'll still have highs around 50 degrees, and then we'll warm back up towards 60 again as we get deeper into the weekend. So we're going to continue this warm pattern for at least the next 10 days as it looks. If we look at the radar, you can see quite a bit of activity well off to our west. But again, some of that will eventually sneak into the area today. But we're going to be firmly in the warm sector, and I think temperatures will make it at least into the low to mid 60s. Now, again, I think some areas across the area get some sunshine. We could see a couple of areas climb up to around 70 degrees, so it's going to be a very warm spring-like day out there today. If you take a look at the weather map this morning, you can see low pressure systems along this front off to our west, and they'll continue to move up this front, and that's going to cause this front to move only very slowly off to the east. And again, so we'll expect a pretty good a 2 or 3 day period of very warm temperatures. So I think we'll make it back into the 60s on Wednesday as well. Most of the thunderstorm activity will stay off to our south, as will the very heaviest rains. I think overall over the next 5 days or so, I think around an inch to maybe an inch and a quarter, inch and a half could fall in some areas. But the very, very heavy rains, 5 to as much as 20 inches of rain could fall, especially as you get into the Arklatex, eastern Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. They could be under the gun for some very, very serious flooding here over the next week. If we look at the forecast map by tomorrow, you can see that cold front just ever so slowly inching its way here. No cold air behind this front. This would all be Pacific modified air. And if we look at the next map, you can see again, as we this says Saturday, but this will be as we get into the day on Thursday. You can see that front still hanging up across the area. Would not even be surprised to see some 60-degree temperatures across the southern part of the state again on the day on Thursday. If we look at the next map, you can see the GFS, how it continues to warm for today. It's now got us most of the areas well into the low to mid 60s. And again, the Europeans closer to 65 to 68 degrees across this area. So again, a very warm day. If we look at the next shot, you can see the rainfall expected here over the next 7 days. You can see for much of the southern Great Lakes, and we'll have to do something about where the pictures are aligned. But you can see all this very heavy rain from the Gulf all the way up towards the, again, the Arklatex area where they're going to get hammered. And finally, thanks for stopping by and have a great day, and 73s to all.